hope that you will take advantage of the 40 sessions that we have going on. Women from 25 countries will be speaking at this event, talking about cool technology, talking about the issues for women in tech on a regional, national, and international basis. And we have some really good professional development as well. So I hope that you all take advantage of this. All of these sessions are being recorded, so if for some reason it's in a bad time zone, you can't make it, you can always watch the recordings at your leisure whenever you would like. I want to do a couple of housekeeping items. The first thing is we have this chat window over here on the right-hand side. You have to be logged into Spreecast to actually use the chat window, but we hope that you will say hello and where you're from. This is a great opportunity to network. I remember last year that there was a number of women who actually ended up doing some collaborations as a result of Voices 2014. So we hope that you will connect with one another and feel free to use the chat window for that purpose. It is also the place where you can ask questions. So I will be producing this particular session, and I will be sending Ramya questions that you have. So if you have questions for her, please use the chat window to do that. All right, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ramya Bommareddy. She's doing a session on business intelligence engineering for big data. She is from HP, and I'm sure she'll do a little more of an introduction for you. There is going to be a slide deck that is going to come up here shortly. When that slide deck does launch, you need to drag and drop it on your screen to a place where you can watch Ramya and chat and so on. And also you will need to follow along with the slides. So you'll have to advance the slides yourself, and she'll let you know what slide number she's on so that we can follow along with her. All right, so with that, I'm going to hand it over.
Thank you very much, Deanna. Can you hear me? Okay, let's get started. Before I start, I would like to first thank Deanna for orchestrating this conference. I know it's not a small task to get this going. I don't see the slides pop up yet. Deanna, if you can please bring them up. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. I will be mentioning which slide I'm talking about while we go through and while we progress. So I'd like to wish everybody a very happy International Women's Day yesterday and the Women's Week this week, because we are going to be celebrating the Voices Conference throughout this week. I am Ramya Bommareddy. I am currently working in HP, Hewlett-Packard company. Previously, I worked at AT&T, Singular Wireless, and Intercontinental Hotels Group. I was born and brought up in India, and I moved to the United States to pursue higher education. I started my career as a data analyst, then progressed into business analyst and similar ETL data warehousing kind of roles. I'm progressing to the next slide and moving to slide number 3. Today, let's look at a little bit on what the strategic pillars are for modern businesses. We'll look at each of these 4 in a little bit detail. And then we'll delve deeper into big data, which is the core of what I want to discuss today. And then we will also look at the best practices for building business intelligence teams and delivering solutions that enable value to the business and the customers. So looking at the modern style of business and how the strategic areas of focus are, let's start with big data. Between 2010 and 2020, the amount of data is expected to grow 50 times. On any single day, there are close to 1 billion pieces of content posted on Facebook, close to 200 million tweets, and about 2.5 exabytes of data that are generated from GPS-enabled devices, cameras, sensors, and more. Is this big data, is it a challenge or is it an opportunity? How do we take this data and turn it into information, intelligence, and more of actionable insight? How do we bring analytics into the picture? How do we go from descriptive analytics to prescriptive analytics to predictive analytics. That is the big opportunity that lies with big data. In this modern day, nothing feels secure. Cybercrime is big business. So that is the second area of focus, security. On an average, there are close to 400 million people who are victims of identity fraud, including identity theft, which translates to about 12 every second. Businesses can no longer wait for a cyber attack to happen. They can no longer build walls and wait, walls as in firewalls, that is. Reacting to these intrusions is no longer an option. You have to be able to predict them and prevent these cyber attacks. The security is the second major focus for modern businesses. It's focusing mostly on IT levels. Mobility, the third focus area. Today, most of us, at least those who are working in IT, are able to take our work anywhere and everywhere that we want. Bring your own device, or BYOD is the trend. Bring your own device. It's not just about the hardware or the device. It's also about the infrastructure, the software, the applications or the apps, like the way we like to call them, and the services that are associated with mobility. That is a huge opportunity. And how did this all start? It all started with the internet. The internet really helped us become more efficient, agile, and untethered. This is what we call big mobile. This is where big data, security, cloud come together. Big mobile. And what's the next step? How do businesses harmonize their operations? How do businesses transfer their expenditure from CapEx to OpEx, the capital expenditure to operational expenses? That's where cloud comes into picture. Whether it's private cloud, public cloud, or hybrid cloud, depending on the nature of the businesses. We are no longer restricted to building data centers of our own for a business. We are able to leverage everything on the cloud. That's an opportunity with cloud. So bringing this all together, whether it's harnessing big data, harmonizing operations through cloud, mobilizing the business, and everything wrapped around in the fabric of security. That's where the focus of modern businesses are, mostly IT businesses are. I'm now moving to the next slide where we will be looking a little bit deeper into big data. Slide number 4. How big really is big data? When did this really start? Let's look at the evolution. Most of it started in the 1980s. And a good example that I would like to use is the seismic data, everything that's coming in from the earthquakes. Meteorologists that are looking at this data. That's where the expansion, the volume started coming in the 1980s. Moving a little bit into the 1990s, that's when the velocity started picking up. If you remember, that's when we all came to know about internet and the PCs, the personal computers, started entering our households. The ubiquity of personal computing came to being in the 1990s. The velocity took off. Followed by the 2000s, when the social media was born. Whether it's YouTube, MySpace, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and more. That's when the variety of big data came into being, the 2000s. Where are we now? These are the first three V's of big data, like we call them. And now there's a fourth V. Depending on who you ask, you may hear veracity, vulnerability, or variability of the data. If you take a good example, as a regular consumer, you and me, when we get coupons in the mail, I like to get coupons too. How do I know whether or not I should use that coupon, whether I should invest my time in figuring out where the business is and what the value is offered. How do I know whether that's worth my time? Or if a doctor is looking at the heartbeat information of a patient, how does he know what to look at, what the anomalies are? This data is coming in, streaming in every second. So how do we know where to look at? That is the veracity that is happening right now. Then there is also vulnerability. Big data is really big, yes, but how do we secure it? Especially with social media, we are hearing a lot of cases where vulnerability is a big opportunity or a challenge, depending on how you look at it. That's the fourth V where we are right now. Now, moving on to the next slide, number 5. Let's see some of the technologies that are associated with big data. Traditionally, the RDBMS, the relational database management systems that we are most familiar with are like Oracle, DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, and we have Teradata and many other database systems. So now the industry is moving more towards open source, Apache-based Hadoop ecosystem, whether it's H-based, HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, Scoop, Yarn, or the MapReduce second version, which is Apache Drill. Whichever way you look at it, the industry is moving more towards open source. What's the advantage of doing this? It helps us handle not only structured data, but also unstructured as well as semi-structured data. Let me give you a simple example to understand the difference between structured and unstructured data. If you're looking at just kind of fruits and their colors, let's say you have rows and columns. You have apple, right? And then you have orange, and then banana, which is yellow. This is structure. You know the names of the fruits and you know the colors, you're organized. However, let's say you want to mine into the information embedded in emails. How do we do that? Emails can be between different people. It doesn't have to be between two people. It can be between 2 to 100 to 1,000 people. So it's not structured. And there is context in the emails. It's not just one topic. It can be any topic. Then there is language associated. It can be in any language. This is unstructured data. And the way we handle that is through the latest new generation of NoSQL kind of databases that are built to handle such information. Some of the examples for NoSQL data stores are like Cassandra, MongoDB, CouchDB. There's plenty going on in the market right now. That's the opportunity with big data. Now that we covered a little bit about big data, I want to share some of the best practices, my own experiences in working in business intelligence teams. I'm moving to the next slide around the globe. It's about geographically distributed teams. In this modern day and age, especially in IT, our teams are spread across the world. We have as many as 10 different time zones. And how do we use this as an opportunity? We are able to provide holiday coverage by being across the globe. Let's take, for example, Thanksgiving is a holiday in the United States, but most of the rest of the world is not celebrating holiday at that time. So they are able to run and maintain the business while a part of the world is on a holiday, similarly vice versa. It's a big opportunity with being around the globe. And also being able to develop and deliver value, innovative solutions 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes more than 5 days a week too. We really have to take advantage of the distributed teams. Most of us are trained to believe that Agile can only work in co-located teams. While that is true in most cases, it doesn't have to be. In my experience, I have seen where my team is spread across 3 different countries, and we had local Scrum Masters who were able to do the business on a day-to-day task and then report to a global Scrum Master. And we were able to deliver value very efficiently. So Agile doesn't have to be restricted to co-located teams. It can work for geographically distributed teams. Another experience that I would like to share is being affiliated with the local universities and colleges. This really helps us build a pipeline as well as bring new ideas and technologies. What I found out is that early career employees are able to share their experiences with the experienced employees who in turn understand the culture of the company and the business domain knowledge. So that sharing is being is being put to a very good purpose. And that also takes into the next point, which is mentoring. How do we partner different people, whether they wanted to look at job rotations or career growth or various other factors. Mentoring has proven to be very efficient in the field that I'm looking at. So with that, I would like to take any questions that you may have. Thank you, everybody, for posting your comments here. And hello again to our employees from HP. I would like to hand it back to you, Deanna.
It's a great topic and one that is really going to drive the future of innovation in the business sector and beyond. So really exciting stuff. So if no one else has any questions, I would like to thank you all for participating in this session. And I would like to encourage you to attend our next session, which will be in 40 minutes. It's the art of networking. It plans to be a very interesting session, and we hope to see you there. If anyone has any questions, you can always email me at deanna@globaltechwomen.com. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, we love to hear them, so please send them our way. I would like to thank Ramya for a great talk and thank the audience again for participating, and we hope to see you at the next session. Thank you.